Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Weirdness Galaxy podcast. So, I'm Camo. I'm your host, Camo, and my co-host. Introduce yourself, Shad.
Hey guys, I'm Camo's friend. Hopefully we'll have good time together.
hmm So, we started this podcast. Well, let me give a quick introduction about what we are trying to do here. We are a couple of friends, and we decided that every Friday to make a group call, just to talk about basically anything. The random stuff. Of course, we're gonna have an outline for that day that we are. For example, today we are going to talk about Game of Thrones and Eminem. But of course, we're gonna talk about some crazy stuff or random stuff as well. You know. And we are usually three or four people. Me, which is Camo, Shiar, Sana, and Sarah. But sadly, tonight, Sarah and Sana, they cannot be with us. But for the next time, man, there's a problem with your. I think it's your AC.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't
Anyway,
know. Okay.
yeah, the quality of the quality of the podcast is not good, but we don't care. I mean, well, we care about the content, right?
Yep.
But anyway, tonight Sana and Sarah couldn't make it, but for the next time, they will be, or at least one of them will be here, and we're gonna have guests as well. So we kind of have a plan as to what we are gonna do in future. And if you guys have any requests or anything you want us to talk about, you can write down in the comments or whatever. Because we were a couple of friends back in the university, and now we are graduated. It's been, I think it's more than a year, right, Shiad?
Oh yeah.
So everybody got gone to their separate ways. Everybody is a totally different place. Everybody is walking on a totally different path.
But we are still in touch, which is a good
Yes,
thing.
we're still in touch, and we thought that if we create a podcast like this, in which we will talk about random stuff and movies and just a place that we can like every week once that we can go back to our memories and stuff like that. That will be fun. And everybody has a totally different opinions about certain things, so I think it's worth listening to. What do you think, Shit?
Yeah, I think so. Especially that the topics we'll be talking about, some of them are actually, they're not just the things that we will talk about today, that like fictional stuff or just a famous person. Sometimes we'll be talking about social things, issues that we have in our society, stuff like that. So it will be like a cool mix and diverse of the different topics that will please different tastes, I guess, which is what we strive for in this podcast.
True. And we will talk about like scientific stuffs as well, but we try to tackle just anything.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, that's why we try to do something else as well. Like for example, we will pick up a movie, and we will all watch it, that week, and then we will talk about it on
Yeah.
Friday or whatever. We don't know about the times of uploads, but whatever. I mean, every week we're gonna talk about a movie or a song coming out or a strange news or something like that. But anyway, for tonight we will talk about Game of Thrones. That will be our main theme. We actually did a podcast share, if you remember, about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that was like by the end of the seventh season,
Yeah,
was it?
that's true. I think it was yeah, it was season 8, but
Oh,
episode
season 8. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
but episode 5. But we recorded what we said about the movie, but sadly I made a mistake. There was a technical problem. I couldn't share it. But we will talk about it again tonight. So, share what made you watch Game of Thrones? Like, what pushed you to watch it? Because I have my own reason, basically.
My relatives, especially my cousin, my aunt's daughter, and her father. Like both of them were watching, and they were really excited about it. And they were like, "Why aren't you watching? You want to talk about it and that stuff?" And they gave me the discs of the first 5 seasons, I guess.
Yeah.
I just watched the first episode and then I just never continued, I guess. I don't remember exactly why Game of Thrones didn't really attract me from the beginning. I think it was because I wasn't used to watching TV series.
Hmm.
I was used to movies, the long stuff like so many episodes. Each one is like 1 hour or 50 minutes. That's just too much for me. Um, so yeah, but later I gave it a try after watching Breaking Bad. I was like, okay, let's try to tackle anything that is quality and give it a shot. So yeah, found Game of Thrones, started watching it. I was not like the type who would finish like 2 seasons in one night or something. I still
Well, I
can't do
was
that.
like
Just too
that
much for me.
when I started. I was
Yeah.
exactly like that. I finished first season in 1 or 2 nights. You know. Um,
Uh,
but man, I wanted to ask about I want to ask about Breaking Bad because today I talked with somebody and he mentioned Breaking Bad and I said I had a friend because you talked about Breaking Bad and he said I told him that you actually kind of suggested me to watch it, but I don't know. I think it's not my thing. What do you think about Breaking Bad? Is it? Do you advise me to watch it?
uh, the thing about Game of Thrones is that whenever the name of it is mentioned, for some reason people mention Breaking Bad too because they both are considered some of the greatest TV shows ever.
Hmm.
Though they are really different though. Like you have one that is fictional, we have one that is kind of realistic, and how it depicts drug. I mean, making drugs and meth in
But man, do
America.
you think if I start watching Breaking Bad, do you think I would like it?
Uh, I really can't guarantee that. The thing about this show is that it's slow. Like, it has a really slow pace, but this slow pace isn't a negative thing because it builds up the characters. It sets up the events for
But I
for the
was
climactic
thinking,
moments.
to watch, House MD.
Mm.
I'm not sure if because it's very famous, and I think I kind of like it. I had seen some clips here and there, but anyway, let me tell my story of getting into Game of Thrones. First of
Yeah,
all, I don't like long series. Like when it gets into season 4 or 5, I don't like to watch them. Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
me.
Yeah, exactly like Supernatural. I've been watching it. Like at season 8, I stopped watching it. I get bored. I don't like to watch long stuff. Um, so Game of Thrones, and another point is that I don't like to watch something which is very popular. Like everybody say, "Oh, Game of Thrones," But
I see.
yeah, but as you know, every Tuesday, there is a gathering, there is a meetup. I go there with my friends, and there are other people. So at that time, the hottest topic was Game of Thrones. Everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep up, with the people there that they were talking about Game of. I wanted to have an opinion basically because whenever they talked about Game of Thrones, I was just shut up because I didn't know what to talk about.
Isolated to the corner.
Yeah, and there were some hot girls as well. They were talking about Game of Thrones, so it was a kind
So
of
you have
trick.
to watch it, of course.
I
You don't want to
have
miss on that.
exactly. So I started watching, but actually I liked the first season. The first season probably is the best season of the of the TV show.
Mm.
And then I began to like it, and actually it was really good. But they fucking ruined it in season 8. It's just fucking horrible. So what is your favorite
Um,
season, Shah?
uh,
And your favorite
it could be
character?
that. It could be season 6.
Six?
Is it? Was it the season? Was it the season where the red wedding happened?
No, the Red
Can't
Wedding.
exactly.
I think it was season
Was
2.
it season 4?
It was season 2.
Season 2.
I think so. Yeah. No. I don't know. Maybe season 3 or 4. I don't really. It's been a long time. I don't know.
It was probably 4. I don't remember, but
Of course, it was not 2. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? Well, yeah. Let me check. I mean, I have internet right now, so.
yeah, just check it. Till you check it, I'll tell you why season 6 is so good. Just like Game of Thrones, like even if you do forget
Mhm.
a lot of the
Man, it says
major
that
plot event that happened. Yeah.
the Reigns of Castamere is the ninth and penultimate episode of the third season of HBO's fantasy television series Game of Thrones, and the 29th episode of the series. I think it was season 3. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it was 29th episode, the Red Wedding, when the
Mm.
brother of Jon Snow and his wife, who was kind of a doctor, I guess, a nurse, I think. And there was a hot scene of that they were having sex. That was one of my best sex scenes
Yeah.
in the Game of Thrones. Yeah. Yeah. So
So
what do you think about it?
uh, the thing is about season 6 is the that scene where what was her name? God, I forgot their names even. uh,
Yeah, it's a long time ago now.
when they blew up that temple, what was it called? The Sept or something?
I don't know.
If you do remember that scene where they when yeah, Cersei.
Oh, Cersei.
When
The
she blows up
Lannister.
that temple that contains like the Tyrell girl, what was her name?
Oh,
Yeah,
the redhead one, right?
yeah.
And she also had a sex scene with the brother of I forgot what is his name. Oh my god.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
She was
I
so
forgot
big.
all the names, which is weird.
Yeah.
I still remember that. I knew everything about it, but
Not the
anyways, yeah,
names.
that scene,
Hmm.
yeah, that scene was really powerful. Like it just blew up like what 4 or 5 main characters out of the sudden, and the way they produced it and all that stuff, and the music especially, like it was really amazing.
But something else made my jaw dropped. When Cersei blew up that temple
Temple.
of fanatics.
Yeah.
Yeah, the king. I don't remember his name, but he made a suicide
Tommy.
right
Ah,
away.
yeah.
I
His
mean,
name was Tommy.
I didn't know that it was coming. I
Neither
didn't.
did I, honestly.
To be honest, I thought he's gonna do something crazy, but not at the same episode in which many main characters were eliminated. So, yeah, that was
Yeah.
unexpected for me. That was really unexpected. But my favorite season is the first season. It's really smart, and one thing that made me to keep watching other seasons was the last episode. I think it was episode 9 of season 1.
Was it when they cut Ned Stark's head?
Yeah. They cut off the Ned Stark because that was totally unexpected, and
Out of nowhere.
out of nowhere. And, it was not normal with other TV series. It's because usually the hero stays alive and then blah 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 blah. But it was totally different.
Yeah, like Ned Stark was really a beloved
Yeah,
character by everyone, and it felt like he was the one who will like step
yeah,
up to be against the Targaryens and
yeah.
lead
But
the Starks.
about the season 8. However, the
Hmm.
last episode was predicted before by the fans because I was obsessed for a while about how Game of
The
Thrones would end.
theories.
Yeah, about the Daenerys, the Mad Queen theory. It was a very famous theory between the fans.
Mm.
The show supposedly had to make like an ending which was unexpected, but they fucking ruined it. I mean, um, so basically, that's why I don't like season 8, and I think season 8 was so quickly everything just finished. Like it's been 7 seasons. You are trying to build
You
up
know,
the story of the Night Walkers or White Walkers, and you suddenly uh, all the army vanished in one episode. I mean, that was so fucking stupid. And you don't have the story of where did the Night Walker King came from, and like it's just incomplete. The season 8
You
is
know,
it's just
yeah,
rubbish.
definitely. When both of us went to drink water, I
Hmm.
actually checked my Facebook really quickly, and I found that George R. R. Martin had said that Game of Thrones could have easily have been extended to like 5 more seasons because of
Yeah, I
the
actually
the
wanted to.
amount of yeah,
Yeah,
it should
because
have been. It should have been.
they should have. I mean, although I don't like long series, but they should have done that because I mean, the world, the universe they created is really nice, and it deserved the whole. I mean, I
So
deserve
many, so many mysteries.
yeah, so many mysteries, and I don't know. I mean, it was just man. And by the way, the faceless man. That was one of the aspects of the show that many people hated it, but I really liked it. I think it was in season 6 and 7 when Arya Stark goes to that black and white temple with the guy who can change his face. His name was Jack and Hagar.
Yeah, I got yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
I actually like that too.
I really liked it, but then we never hear about Faceless Man anymore. I mean,
Yeah, that was just one of the inconsistencies.
yeah, because I thought that Jack and Hagar, in a way, will show up again. There were some theories that, if you remember, Arya Stark in season 1, he had a teacher, a dance teacher.
Yeah,
That
Steve.
many people said probably he was Jack and Hagar because there was no reason to train Arya Stark and make her an assassin, and it was just a mess. But I like the idea of Faceless Man. I like the idea, but they should have like I don't know. It was just crazy.
Um, Coming back to the first season, well, it's not my favorite, honestly, but I gotta say what they did in it was very important. It gave the show its identity, I would say, because
Hmm.
um, with Ned Stark's death like that, people know that this is Game of Thrones. Like this is not any other show. This is the place where your favorite character can just die at any time for no reason or for any good reason. For like any 4 or 5 main characters can die at any moment. No one is safe. Like any person who you feel like is a good person, whom you trust,
True.
in the next episode he might be the biggest asshole in the episode in the show.
Yeah.
That's why that was one of the beauties of watching this show.
True.
That when you listen to those conversations between Littlefinger and that bald guy, I forgot his name. Um,
The dwarf. Oh no, the bold
no, no,
character
no.
was. Oh my god, I forgot his name. Was uh, oh my god, yeah, the
You know
bold character.
what
I don't remember his Lord Varys, I think.
Lord Varys, Lord
Yeah, Lord
Varys. Yeah.
Varys. Yeah, I like this
Yeah.
conversation with
You
Tyr.
listen to these conversations, and you try to figure out like what their intentions are, and who might be the good guy between them, who might be the bad guy, what's like their end goal.
Hmm.
That was really nice. That was really,
Yeah.
and there is something else about Game of Thrones. Like, though I wouldn't consider it like the greatest show ever, or even my favorite, but
Hmm.
it has one aspect in it that is better than any other show, like any other movie or series or any other thing, is that the climactic moments in it. Oh my God, man!
Yeah, yeah, and
They are
not and man,
so
it's
effective.
very
They are so
original.
effective.
You know.
Exactly. Like when you watch the Red Wedding, there's no way on earth that you will like close your laptop and not feel angry. Like I am a person who is like, me, uh, games or TV series or movies, they don't affect me. Like no matter how powerful they are, but Game of Thrones was the exception. Was the exception.
Oh, sorry, I don't
Is
know what
that
happened.
a
What happened? What was it?
okay?
Uh,
So yeah,
yeah. Okay.
just
Yes.
it's like a combination. It's like a perfect combination of acting, of the like plot twist that comes out in the moment of everything. Honestly, like it's really exceptional.
Uh, I totally agree with you, and I think the idea was very original. And there are the Dothraki language and Valerian. they hired a linguist to create it, and that was another amazing aspect of the show. They make it so realistic, you know.
Yeah, that's another attention to detail. They could like make any random language, but they actually took care of that very well.
Yeah,
Like it looked very believable. It didn't look like a made up language.
but the dialogues, as you said, the dialogues were really interesting. Especially, my favorite. Let's talk about our favorite characters. My favorite character
Yeah.
was Tyrion Lannister, and
Tyrion Lannister, the dwarf.
Tyrion Lannister. One thing,
Mm.
the dwarf. Yeah, one thing I liked about him was his wit. His witty.
Yeah.
He was really witty, and the dialogues was really, really, really amazing. Even the George R. Martin, he published a book called The Wit of Tyrion Lannister, in which he collected the things that Tyrion had said. His wit.
Yeah.
It was really. I mean, I was really interested. When I watched Game of Thrones, after Game of Thrones, because of Tyrion Lannister, the character, I was interested in learning about comebacks. In English, not just in English, I mean in any language, whenever somebody makes an offensive comment to you, you answer them in a way that you shock them and you leave them without,
Yeah.
So Tyrion was
Yeah.
like that. So I started to learn some comebacks. I even not right now. I have a folder of 31 comebacks. Of how to answer a. For example, there's a protocology, which is the study of the diseases of ass and anus. So there is a comeback. If somebody being a jerk or being a dick with you, you tell them that, oh, I'm not a protocologist, but whenever I see an asshole, I know. I know whenever I see an asshole. For example, okay, let me read some other comment. Let me read some other stuff. When somebody complains that you are being critical, say, I'm sorry that my brutal honesty inconvenienced your ego. Stuff like that. For example, when someone tries to roast you, say, quit trying to be a smart ass when you are just an ass.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a really good one. And so I began to learn those crazy comebacks because I thought the dialogue is really important in order to, I don't know, to keep up with jerks and stupid heads. So Tyrion Lannister was an inspiring character. I mean, I really liked this. Whenever he showed up, I was really,
He helps
happy
you.
to
He
learn
helps you.
something new. Yeah.
He helps you to establish your linguistic superiority.
So basically, yeah. Anyway, let me read some of the wits that I've downloaded. Shakespeare, though we don't like him, right?
Mhm.
But he has a beautiful quote. He says, "Better a witty fool than a foolish wit." So, and if someone calls you a moron, you say, if you are gonna be a smart ass, first you have to be smart, otherwise you are just an ass. Uh,
Yeah.
Speak when you are angry, and you will make the best speech you will ever regret. And
I
then,
heard that.
yeah, all my life I thought air was free until I bought a bag of chips. That's
That's
true.
about Lays.
Yeah, Lays. That's so fucking true. I have learned so much from my mistakes. I am thinking of making a few more. By the way, these ones are really helped me. Especially by whenever I talk with people. For example, they mentioned about, oh, you made a mistake. I said, oh, that's very good. I learned so much about so much from my mistakes. So I'll do even more. They will
Yeah.
laugh and etc. It's a good it's a good way to, I don't know, just
Reply in a non-conventional way.
to reply to, I mean, so people will like you more in a way. I mean, you become a smart ass in talking, basically. Like I call it tyrannism. Tyrannism.
Iron and
Yeah. So, Let me tell you an aspect I didn't like about the show. I will forget about season 8 because season 8 was fucking shit. Uh, those
Yeah.
who those who had written the screenplay for season 8, they were all motherfuckers because they ruined the show. So I'm not going to talk about this. I mean, everybody knows that. But there is an aspect that I like and I don't like. Okay, the sexual scenes. Well, I like sex. I mean, everybody does like that. And of course we like it on the screen. But in Game of Thrones, there were just too much sex scenes, and I didn't like that, to be honest. It was just too much, you know. I don't mean there should not be sex scenes. I mean that was good to convey a lot of ideas. For example, through the brothels, and he tried to show patriarchy or how sex can control somebody, or what sex to do with politics, etc. That's all good things. But
It's probably part of the advertisement having too much sex scenes. Sometimes it was too much for real. Like
mhm.
Arya, when they were waiting for her, like to become an adult, so that they would just immediately put her in a sex scene. That
Yeah,
was just pathetic. And that sex scene was just bad as well. Like, come on, man,
it was
you could do
cringy,
better than
man.
that. Definitely.
And
So is this the only thing that you noticed that wasn't right about Game of Thrones, or there's
man,
something
you know
else?
what came to my mind when I saw some memes about this as well, and I even created one about that. Um, when he slept with that guy, who's later became the Lord of somewhere, right? I said, oh my God, he slept with Jack and Hagar. I said, I was waiting for the moment that Arya took off, her face and say, oh, I'm Jack and Hagar, you idiot, you know. So, uh, well,
You did the great things.
the gay things. Uh, so basically, yeah. But anyway, I mean, overall, I think it was a good show. I mean, I
Yeah.
give it like
Uh,
8 out
there's
of
there's
10.
there's there was something that I noticed, like again, as you said, leaving season 8.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the characters, uh, the good thing about this show, like I said, was that the dialogues and how the characters were talking, like in a really cool way.
Mm-hmm.
However, that was actually also a negative point in some aspects
Mm-hmm.
because some characters that didn't deserve to be like so convincing in their communication,
Mm-hmm.
like so able in talking, they were like characters that didn't fit to that. Like they were like, oh, who was it? That little girl who was like the head of that
Oh
one
yeah,
of those
yeah. Uh,
one of those clans that were supporters of the
that was
Stark.
exaggerated. I think that was the Mormont.
Uh,
Was the
yeah,
cousin
yeah, the
of the
Mormon,
Jorah
the Mormon.
Mormont. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That little girl, how is she able to talk so well like that? Like, come on, she's just a girl.
yeah.
Like, like, come on. And she's not the only one. Like, a lot of the characters in the show, they are able to talk so well and communicatively, and
It's not just about the way that she told. I mean, she was so smart about like, and that's crazy.
yeah,
You
that was
created the
not that
universe.
was unbelievable.
That
Like
wasn't right.
when you hear Littlefinger speaking
Mm-hmm.
or Lord Varys, they are believable. Like they have been to a lot of experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they have been
Who was
dealing
that
with
lord?
the
The
with
one
the
who they killed? With Littlefinger. He was like I really liked. Though he was a tyrant and he was a bad person, but he really portrayed the role like amazingly.
yeah, definitely. And Sansa Stark in the first 1 or 2 seasons was a complete fool, right?
Yeah.
And she wasn't even a good talker, but through her experiences and like
After
um
she's been raped.
all the suffering, she became like
Yeah.
more able to, yeah, exactly.
But by the way,
At the end, like,
I liked the rape aspect. By the way, I mean, recently I've noticed from in TV in the recent years, the idea the theme of rape is coming into the shows right now. people, I mean, the shows are more open about it. I mean, recently I've watched Unbelievable. I don't know if you had seen it or heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
So Unbelievable is
No, like that.
about it's based on a true story. It's a real case. It's about a serial rapist, and I
Uh-huh.
really like the show because the show shows that how rape victims feel, what procedure through the government. It basically criticizes the American government uh,
Mm-hmm.
about the procedure that the rape victims go through, and I really liked it. You know, it was like 13 Reasons Why season one, but better, way more better. But what I mean that the 13 Reasons Why, Unbelievable, Game of Thrones. Now they have. I mean, they bring the idea, the theme of rape, in order to make people, you know, like
Because
aware.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
a realistic issue. Like
yeah.
people, like the media always try to not touch it. It was like a taboo, but apparently right now it is becoming more and more common.
Yeah, by the way, after Sir Jorah Mormon, I want to talk about something else happening in Morocco, which I shared something about it on my Facebook. I don't know if you had seen it, about a journalist in. She was arrested by Morocco's government. Her name is like Hajar Raisuni, something like that. She was basically. Let me read the headline first, okay? The introduction. A Moroccan journalist has been sentenced to a year in prison for premarital sex and having an abortion. In a case, activists say is a part of a crackdown on critical reporters. Whatever, he was
Oh
arrested.
yeah, I heard
Yeah,
about
he
it.
was
Actually
arrested
heard
with
about
his boyfriend just because she had an abortion. Well, I don't want to get into the pro-choice or pro-life abortion debate kind of thing, but in that fucking country, if you had sex before marriage, they will arrest you. Well, it's even better in Kurdistan. They will kill you. But what I mean, it's so.
it.
uh,
Oh my God,
it's
that is so
stupid.
true.
It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. You know.
Which is so weird because their neighbors, or are they their neighbors? I don't know. Tunisia. Have you heard what is going on with them? They have become really democratic and like a very.
No, I have no idea about Tunisia, but I see many
Or
Tunisian people.
read about it. It is becoming really, really more developed, a more Europe-like country right now.
Well,
But yeah,
it's a
the
good
rest
news.
is.
I mean, even if you are, I mean, for example, you don't like people have sex around before marriage, it's fine. I mean, nothing wrong with that if you don't have sex before marriage. But if someone does it, that doesn't mean you have to arrest them. But yeah, I mean, the people activists say they just, I mean, the government. It's like an excuse because she was criticizing the government.
Yeah,
So
like
somehow they want to defamate her and made her shut up,
yeah, yeah.
something like that. But anyway, going back to Game of Thrones, I have the last comment, and then we will go to our second section. But Sir Jorah Mormont, he was an amazing character, but there was a meme. It says this poor guy didn't have sex from the first season till the eighth season.
Oh God, he is one of the very few characters who didn't do that.
Yes, and I feel sorry because we had, if you remember, we had a somewhat slogan. Uh, we don't want to die as a virgin. you know.
Oh,
But this guy, well, he was not a virgin. I mean, he had wife and everything. But it's always whenever I had seen him on the screen, I remembered our joke like we don't want to die as a virgin.
yeah.
So this guy. So anyway, do you have any other comments about Game of Thrones?
Not really. That's everything I have.
Good. So let's get into there's a topic I like to talk about. We will talk about Eminem, but another thing alongside Eminem that I want to talk about is mumble rappers. There are
Mm.
so many
Well, I
stupid.
can't add much to that topic because I'm not really listening to anything rap related these days.
Good you don't listen. I mean, good you don't listen because you have stupid like Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Have you heard that song?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's another one. You know, bitch sorry, I'm doing something sorry. Stupid shit like that. I mean, those fucking mumble rappers, and now they are very popular. People are listening to them just because the style, which is they are so. It's like they are on drugs, and they are on drugs. But what I mean, they don't make any fucking sense. I mean, rap is about to die, you know. But Eminem came up with his new album Kamikaze, and he fucking destroyed them, man. Have you
It was
listened?
actually it
Mhm.
was actually a decent album, yeah.
Yeah, and there was another stupid guy, Machine Gun Kelly, and
I actually like him too.
well, he's a cool guy. I mean, he's a good rapper. I mean, I listened
He
to his.
actually has some of the good songs. That's the dumb thing
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah. Even
Well,
Eminem's
the
dead.
only good rappers are in the feud.
Yeah, but you know, even the in his diss track when he dissed Eminem, it was a good lyrics. I mean, I give him that. But
Mm.
man, Eminem with his track "Kill Shot," he fucking destroyed this man. You know,
I listened to it, I think, once, but that was a long time ago.
man, yeah. But listen to it. I mean, sometimes I listen to it. It's just it makes you laugh. There are some lines. He said, it's your moment. Eminem says, he says, it's your moment, so enjoy it. To give you a career to destroy it. That's my favorite fucking line. You know, he said he means that you are making, you try to get publicity by dissing me and talking shit about my daughter. So okay, I give you this publicity, so enjoy it. I gave you this career, but now I will destroy it. Uh,
Mm.
it was my favorite line. But anyway, I mean, I think Eminem won. I don't know if you were aware of the drama between Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, I was aware of it. But let's talk about his glory days, all the way back to the middle of the 2000s. I want to ask
Yeah.
you something. If you have a good memory, what was like your first ever song of Eminem that you listened to?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this. You know, I first started listening to Eminem. I think it was 2010 or the ends of the 2010. I bought a CD. I bought different kinds of CDs, etc. And I bought, and back then I was kind of getting into English more. How can I say, like, more seriously? So I bought
Mm-hmm.
a couple of CDs that they were including the clips of that year, and one of the songs that I had seen was "Not Afraid" by Eminem. That was the first song that introduced me to Eminem, and I really fucking loved it.
Wow.
And that song helped me with my life because I was, every teenager at certain. I was that kind of teenagers. I had problems back then, and when I started to listen to Eminem, it was something that I could relate to. So I think it's 2010 I began to listen to Eminem, and I'm listening to him since then. Today I listen to some songs of Eminem as well. And
Nice.
what about you?
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, definitely in that 2010, yeah, around the same time period. Um, the first song has to be Smack That
Well,
with Akon.
sorry to interrupt you there. Smack That that was the first song I listened to, but I remember
Oh,
it was
you
2008
mean
or
the song
2000. Yeah, it was 2000 with Akon, right?
with Akon, yeah.
Yeah, it was 2008, 2000. I liked the Aiken part. I didn't like Eminem, and back then I had no idea of who Eminem was and etc.
Yeah.
It was just not. It was just not my style back then. In 2008 or something like that. Uh, but in 2010, and when I started to search about Eminem and I found the Smack That was by Eminem, I said, "Oh my God, I was a fucking fool."
Mm.
When I listened to it again, and then I really liked it.
Uh, what did I want to say? Yeah,
Smack That.
I would say that the reason I was attracted to Eminem music was probably because I had like a weird transition from listening to like normal calm music to stuff like Linkin Park. Linkin Park was like the shit back in the days,
Mm-hmm.
like Sisterhood, and they had like this
really amazing mix between pop and rap, and they made me interested in rap honestly because like the rapper Mike Shinoda is a really good rapper like, by himself, and because of that, I think I was like looking forward to listen to any good quality rap, and I don't remember what was the occasion, but yeah, but actually Smack That was like everywhere if you wanted to listen to it on YouTube, on TV, anywhere. And then yeah, I actually like started to listen to him seriously like when I was mm, in the senior year high school. That was like when I was 17 years old or something. I bought a CD, and it contained like all of his um, video music, and it contained everything, like Lose Yourself, Not Afraid, Mockingbird, all that stuff.
Beautiful and yeah.
Everything, almost everything, and yeah, it was such a cool
And the movie
introduction
Eight
because
Mile, man, the movie Eight Mile was okay. Let's talk about Eight Mile as well. I mean, the Eight Mile is one of my favorite movies. Is just
the
by the way,
scene, the scene, yeah,
there's a sex scene from the beginning. Uh, that's so awkward because he runs into his mom and his boyfriend. It's so fucking weird beginning, but I really love uh, 8 Mile. It's a great movie.
that scene when the rap battle by itself scene was like legendary by itself. Honestly,
Yeah,
it was very
all the rap battles.
the rap lines were really well written.
It's by Eminem. I think it was written by him as well. Uh, and yeah, in the Scary Movie, I think it's Scary Movie 3 or 2, they try to imitate, Eminem's rap battle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Was that a parody?
yeah, there's a parody of that. Yeah, in the Scary Movies. There's a guy. He lives in the. He wants to become a rapper, and he lives in a farm. And he
Hmm.
goes, and he makes a rap, and he wins. He wins the rap battle, but then he makes the Hitler gesture while having the KKK hood on his head.
Oof.
So they fucking throw him out. It's just funny parody, but it's in Scary Movies.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know which part of Scary Movie, but yeah, I remember that. It was so funny scene. But yeah, I mean the rap battle scenes. It's really cool.
Uh,
And it's about Eminem's life in a way, not exactly. And by the way, there is a new movie which I don't know. I don't know the name. It's exactly like 8 Mile, and I think Eminem is the producer, or Eminem is, I don't know. Eminem has something to do with this. It's kind of the same story, but a totally different actor, a different storyline in a way. Let me find the name.
is that about Snoop Dogg's life?
It's called Bodied. Uh,
Mm.
but it was in 2000. It was produced and published in 2000 and released in 2017. And oh man, it has 7.2 out of 10 in IMDb on IMDb.
That's not bad.
But it is look, Bodied is a 2017 American battle rap comedy drama film directed by Joseph Kahn. It was written by Alex Larson and produced by Eminem. His manager Paul Rosenberg and Adi Shankar. The movie first premiered at the 2017 Toronto International Film Festival. I think we should watch it, man.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I will send. Well, just Bodied, Bodied. He's a white dude. He wants to become. It's kind of the same style. As far as I know, it's kind of the same style as the 8 Mile in a way.
Mm. So, coming back to Eminem music, I gotta actually say that it helped me in a way, but in a way that was a bit different from the way it helped you. I would say when I was in the senior year high school, the pressure that you have on you to succeed, and it's just so damn
Mhm.
annoying, stage of your life, senior high school, because in Syria at least, like we like
I
attend
was like
school
that,
for
man.
like
I I was
And
like
attend
that.
school. We attend school for like 2 months, and then the rest you just stay at home and like take the whole year off. Like everyone does that, and then just study at home.
You
And the
know,
problem is that
yes.
when you're at home, if you're doing anything else other than studying, you feel guilty. You're like, oh my God, I'm wasting my time. That stuff. So yeah, all the
Yeah.
pressure mounts up, and you want something to like relieve you or makes you energetic a little bit because at the same time
Hmm.
you have to study at home and you have to go to like several courses and all that stuff. And oh my God, I have to study this and keep on the schedule and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Man, it
And
was
and then you
exactly the
put
same. Yeah.
on, yeah. And then you like open your mobile and then listen to Lose Yourself or Not Afraid or anything of that like
Yeah. Yeah.
inspiring, energetic stuff, and it makes you like stay alive. I would say.
It's like fuck it, man.
Yeah.
I totally agree, and it was the same case as I. Every morning when I on the back of the car of my father when I went to high school, there was weights on my shoulders. The thing is, I didn't
Yeah.
care about marks. I cared about learning, but the society is totally different. They demand they demand marks and
They demand
scores.
marks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was listening to Eminem every morning, like Not Afraid, Lose Yourself, 8 Mile Tracks.
Superman.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I mean, it was cool. I mean, without Eminem, I'm not sure if I would have been able to make it, but. There was something else about that
He
phase of.
also improved. He also improved our English.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a side
definitely.
effect.
Definitely, and I started to write raps.
Byproduct.
Yeah, byproduct. By the way, back then I started to write rap songs, and I even have two notebooks full of rhymes, like my book of rhymes and rap songs. Well, they are very
I,
cringy and bad grammar, but whatever. I love them too much because even if you take a look at the cover and the page, you see I drew the recovery album sign. The cross. I
Thank
mean,
you.
yeah, and by the way, I found Tupac as well. I mean, Tupac was just as amazing as Eminem. Because of Eminem, I got into Tupac, and Tupac has really nice songs like "Only God Can Judge Me" and well, now I hate that phrase, but whatever. I mean, it was a really well. If you think of your,
At that time, it was nice.
at that time I was still a Muslim, but now now when I'm an atheist, I think of it differently.
Now only judge can God me.
Yeah. Now I say, okay, I'm a god. I only can't judge myself. Okay, in that
Yeah.
sense, I'm okay with Tupac. um, but anyway, I mean, Tupac has some really great songs, and "Only God Can Judge Me" is one of his great songs. But I want to talk about that phase when you are a teenager and you get all of these pressure. There is a stand-up comedian who's a teenager himself. He has a funny punchline. He says when you are a teenager, you are in that strange phase in your life in which you look like a mutant creature, half adult, half child.
Exactly.
And when I
That's the
think about
problem.
it, I say, oh my god, it's so fucking true. It feels like you are a mutant creature, basically.
Like right now, like my sister's like she's like in the seventh grade, so like she's a teenager, and dealing with her now is the hardest ever because she's not like exactly like a child. You can deal with her, and it like you make fun of her in a dumb way that
Hmm.
would normally would like be working if she was a child,
Hmm.
and you cannot like exactly deal with her like an adult because her mind is not fully grown. So you try to find this balance, and it's really difficult, and
Hmm.
sometimes you can't find it, you
True,
know.
true. Well, man, I mean, it's a crazy phase. I mean, I remember, did you ever remember when you first got into porn and stuff like that? It's that crazy phase. I mean, you do like you from nowhere think about sex from nowhere. I mean, you go to I mean, you easily get distracted in class. It's just a strange phase to be in.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'm not gonna lie, it was probably the most annoying and bothersome phase. Like
you can ever deal with, I guess.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you. But anyway, thank God it's all gone. Thank God. Wow, since when? You know.
What?
But anyway, I mean, I'm happy that we passed that phase. Because it's a phase, in life that you even think about. I mean, you are not sure of your emotions. You are emotionally unstable. You think of suicide. You think of like you are like a sex maniac. You think about masturbation and
Yeah.
sex 24 hours. It's just something you cannot help it. And you are afraid basically because
And
you are turning into something else. I mean, it's so strange.
And that's not how it's supposed to be, by the way. The issue is that you're living in the society that makes it like that, you know?
Exactly. I wanted to say something like that because everything is a taboo. The problem in Europe, your mother, your father, they talk. Well, my mom did talk with me about certain things. You know, I'm thankful. She was. I mean, this.
Open-minded, yeah.
She was. Yeah, my parents they were open minded, especially my mom. I mean, sometimes she made time, me and her alone. She told me about many things. To be
Yeah,
honest.
that's really good.
But I remember what other families, because our society is Islamic. Many people are Muslims, and they are
So
really
conservative.
very conservative, like too conservative. It's totally negatively,
Yeah.
and some of them they don't have a proper sex education, or they don't have a proper education of anything basically. Um, so they don't know how to deal with the girls. For example, when I was at high school, every boy they asked girls numbers, and after 2 days they told girls I love you and stuff. I was so cringed. I cringed, and though
Maniacs.
I cringed because my mom taught me many things that they didn't have the same access to the same education, which is nothing. I mean, in Europe, usually mothers and fathers, parents, generally, they talk with their kids about these stuff. They study it as well. I mean, you have
Yeah.
psychologists. Well, we had psychologists at our school as well, but they were not. They were too afraid to talk about. I mean, for example, in our biology class, when we were 17 years old, for the God's sake. I mean, we were like an adult. We were pre-adult, and we got into anatomy of reproductive system, which is vagina and penis.
Yeah, yeah.
And the teacher was so afraid. He basically separated us from the girls. The girls they gone out. He told us about these reproductive systems,
Hmm.
and he brought Islam into the biological, which was
Wow.
totally unnecessary, because he talked about the premarital sex, in which you're gonna have AIDS and other sexual transmitted diseases. But now I think about it, oh my God, my biology teacher was stupid. He didn't know about condoms. Uh, but
Yeah.
anyway, I
This
mean,
is yeah, this is a subject about education you can like expand on, talk about more in other podcasts, I guess.
yeah, we will do this. But what I mean, Eminem, on the other hand, by the way, but Eminem was too explicit though for us at that age. Well, it was not too
Yeah, that's
explicit.
true.
I mean,
Like, to be honest,
in
we
European
shouldn't
standard,
listen to him.
yeah, in European standard, it's not explicit. But I mean, from what we were coming from, I mean, you suddenly get into Eminem, in which he talks about die, bitch, die, or cleaning out of the closet from the creepers. So
uh,
it was so crazy. I mean, but I liked it. I mean, Eminem. If you listen to this, which I'm sure you don't listen to it, I'm really thankful to save my mutant life, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah, I think that's all I have for Eminem, and my mobile is also about to end.
Yeah, and I think
Its battery is about.
it's near an hour we are talking, and I think we talked about all these things about Game of Thrones, Eminem, and we even tackled some of the stupid Kurdish society, in which we will talk
Yeah.
about it in other time more deeply because it's very important.
We'll roast the shit out of society, our society, guys. Don't worry.
I fucking hate Kurdish people, man. Oh my god. I mean, there's just too much to talk about this because
Yeah.
I mean we need
Just
to.
save that. Let's save that for the next podcast.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Anyway, the next podcast, we let me reveal the topic. Though I don't like to reveal the topics, but we will. I will kind of reveal it. We will talk about our favorite movies, and maybe 5 or 10. But
Talking
we
on
will talk
Friday.
about we will talk about many different movies and
Yeah.
why we liked it, what aspect of the movie did we like, and etc. So anyway, for tonight, and by the way, next time Sarah will join us, and
Yeah.
so though I hate her so much and I don't want her to join us, but I think there is no other way. so, so anyway, guys, thank you for listening to our podcast, and
Thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and
yeah,
considering that this was our first experience ever with podcast, we promise you that you'll improve and try to
yeah,
make the topics even more interesting.
yeah. So anyway, guys, have a nice time, and till the next time, bye bye.
Bye bye.